He opened a container of vacuum-processed human waste, mixed it with water and soil, then placed spoonfuls at regular intervals, planted cut potato pieces, and finally watered everything. 2 weeks later, green shoots actually sprouted from the barren ground. This would be his lifeline for the next 4 years, because this was Mars, 55 million kilometers from Earth. He was stranded on this desolate planet. 2 months earlier, a massive Martian storm had forced his team to abort their mission, but during the emergency evacuation, Mark was struck by flying debris. His suit's monitoring system showed a breach. In the depressurized environment, Mark had maybe a minute to live. The captain wanted to mount a rescue, but the spacecraft was about to be toppled by the storm. With no choice, the captain ordered immediate departure. Even after reaching safety, there was no celebration. NASA soon announced the disaster and declared Mark dead. But on Mars, Mark suddenly stirred. The antenna lodged in his abdomen had actually sealed the suit breach. Fighting through the pain, he made it back to the nearby habitat. Fortunately, the abdominal wound hadn't damaged any organs. Unfortunately, all communication equipment was destroyed. No one knew he was alive. With the next manned mission 4 years away, he had to figure out how to survive on his own. First priority, securing enough food. The food supplies on Mars would only last him a year. Then, during a bathroom break, he suddenly had a brilliant idea. He pulled out a gift meant to be opened on Thanksgiving. This bag of potatoes got Mark incredibly excited. Since he happened to be a botanist, he planned to use these potatoes to grow 3 years worth of food. First, he collected all his crewmates' waste, then converted the habitat's workspace into a greenhouse, laid down a thick layer of Martian soil, and began fertilizing and planting. But then a new problem emerged. Each square meter of potato growth needed at least 40 liters of water, and this plot was 126 square meters. He remembered the spacecraft fuel was hydrazine. Using rare metal iridium as a catalyst, he could separate out nitrogen and hydrogen. All he had to do was ignite the hydrogen to produce water. But an accident occurred. He'd forgotten that his breathing would alter the oxygen levels. The second time, he took proper precautions. Luckily, this attempt succeeded. Overnight, water droplets covered the plastic sheeting. The water problem was completely solved. Months later, he celebrated his first harvest. With the food issue resolved, he began figuring out how to contact Earth. Back on Earth, his funeral was being held. But at that moment, a communications officer at Mission Control curiously checked on the Mars habitat and discovered changes at the Mars base. They concluded Mark might still be alive. And so began the most difficult rescue mission in history.